Well, that was a fast countdown. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Planet Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Reed Simpson, and I am here just so I do not get fined.
Howay, baby. Howay. For those of you not currently watching, it's 6-1. And the game's still going, so we'll probably get a seventh. But go ahead. You can lead our intro.
Yeah, today we're talking Newcastle Tottenham. Welcome to all of our new Aston Villa subscribers. This pertains to you in some way, I'm sure. Just like the rest of the league, you guys will end up finishing ahead of Spurs in this crazy Premier League season. But I told Dylan that we could do a Tottenham Newcastle recap, and it's not much of a Tottenham recap. They never got off the bus, and the ones that did decided to just dig a hole on the pitch and lay in it for, what are we at, 86 minutes now?
Yeah.
Hey, but Spurs could decide before the end of this game just to forfeit, and it would only register a 3-0 defeat. So I think we should strongly consider that.
Sorry, Anthony Gordon. Almost. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that would probably be better for you guys at this point, because this is honestly, like, I'm enjoying this a lot, but I do kind of feel a little bit bad, because I know if I were in your shoes, this would be miserable. So part of me does feel bad, because 3 points is 3 points. We don't necessarily need to beat you 6-1, which that is the score line right now. We're up 6-1 at home against Spurs in a UCL race. But we don't need to beat you that bad. We just really needed 3 points. So I kind of wish for your sake it was 3-1, not 6-1, but it is 6-1. Like, we're winning 6-1 against Spurs right now.
Yeah. As you guys notice, I kind of have bedhead right now, and at least I have
you set an alarm for this.
Dylan.
Like, oh.
No, I didn't actually. I just woke up. It wasn't.
Oh, yeah, that's why I always wear a hat. But thanks.
I didn't set an alarm. I just woke up. That's not that early.
No, 8 a.m.
It wasn't a 6 a.m. start.
No, but you woke up like at 8 a.m. to watch your team get battered by Jacob Murphy. Like, that has to hurt.
I woke up at like 6:45 to let the dogs out.
Who let the dogs out?
I let the dogs out.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
All right,
we can talk about the game
a little bit. Yeah. Tell me what went wrong, other than not getting off the bus. But, like, seriously though, you texted me before the match started about the formation, about the defense setup. So what in your head went wrong here? Because I'm in the most sincere way possible. It's easy to talk about, like, we scored goals, we looked well, but, like, I do think most of this isn't a reflection on Newcastle. I do think most of it is more of a reflection on Spurs. So kind of...
Oh, we were horrible.
Kind of outline why it was so horrible for you.
Yeah, so I texted you and I said, we're playing with two defenders today. Two true defenders. I don't care what...
In a 4-3-3, though.
What? Yeah.
But, like, that's part of the problem,
what
though.
It was.
Like you're playing a 4-3-3 with two defenders. Like, that is a red flag.
Yeah. Perisic and Pedro Porro are two of the worst defenders in the Premier League, and that definitely showed today. It's showing today. I mean, it was just a really bad setup by a really bad Antonio Conte clone, essentially, is what it is at this point. I think that I kind of had the feeling that, okay, maybe we'll put 3 in the net, because of the way it was set up. Maybe we won't get dominated in the midfield, and we really haven't been dominated in the midfield. We've been dominated on the wings with the isolation of Porro and Perisic. That first goal, it was just Perisic having no idea what was behind him on that Lloris parry of the Joe Linton shot, and then you had Jacob Murphy's banger from the outside, which had like a .01 GAA, and you can say that was a great shot. That's on the goal. You should never, as a Premier League goalkeeper, you should never allow a goal from 40 yards out. I'm sorry, but Lloris didn't need to be hugging the near post there, unless it's like a 90
That
mile an
wasn't
hour screamer from
that wasn't
Ronaldo.
40. That wasn't 40 yards out, but yeah.
What was it? It was 30
At most. Like that was not that far outside of
Okay.
the box. Like it wasn't. Like that was. I mean, I'm not defending Lloris. Like that was a bad goal to give up. But I think the goal that was most telling to me was that Jacob Murphy first minute, whatever you want to call it, goal,
Yeah.
because Joe Linton walked into the box. Like
Yeah.
you can be right to be mad at Perisic for allowing that guy to sneak behind him back post to get the rebound, but like, what do we? If you're Spurs, what are we doing letting Joel Linton literally walk into the box? Like
It was a combination of Porro and Perisic there, and it kind of set the tone for what the rest of the game would be like defensively.
because
Just
both of
not
them got
good.
both of them have been burned multiple
Yeah.
times, and I have both of them.
I don't
on
think
my...
we're going to go with this setup. Turns out that Emerson Royale's injury has ended up tanking our season. The world class right back, Emerson Royale.
Your favorite.
Yeah. Now he's grown on me for sure. But this game was it was one of those ones we were gonna win 4-1 when I saw the formation, or we were gonna lose 6-1. And it's ended up being the latter. So I thought maybe with Newcastle's sometimes lack of ability to score throughout the season, maybe we'd be able to get away with it, but clearly not, as the scoreline shows. So,
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, this will probably be our shortest episode, rightfully so. I honestly don't have much more to say other than I don't want to say looked class, because and not in a hurtful or mean way, but I do feel like this is more of a story about what Spurs did wrong than what Newcastle did right. I think there are a lot of sides in the Premier League that would have won this game by 3 goals and
4.
3 or 4 goals. Like sure,
Aston Villa being one of them.
Well, yeah. Hey, thank you to our Aston Villa listeners.
Hey guys, thanks for watching.
But seriously though, like I do think it. I'm excited, obviously, about what it means for us in the table, what it means for us for our Champions League bid. But I'm not gonna put too much stock in this for going forward. I truly think it was a poorly managed, poorly lined up side for Spurs that I think
it was a big risk that did not pay
I
off.
think there are a lot of teams that would have taken advantage of this Spurs formation, team sheet, whatever you want to say. Like I'm excited. I feel great about it, but I don't think it is an indication that Newcastle is going to just run the table and be this dominant against everybody the rest of the year. I do think it is more of an indication of a very, very poorly lined up side on Spurs' behalf. And I'm excited. I feel good, but I do think it is more telling of a very poorly managed Stellini side.
Incompetence of Tottenham.
It feels very.
The
feels very
players
Spursy.
Looked like they gave up.
It feels very Spursy. Like I don't like just labeling teams like we're saying, oh, this is an Arsenal of Arsenals, but like this feels pretty Spursy. And I felt bad after, like, I think I texted you after the 4th goal. I'm like, when do I start feeling sorry for you?
No, you tweeted it out for everyone to see.
Oh, well.
You didn't text me. You tweeted it out.
I do.
Dylan was a major asshole on Twitter.
Oh, huge. But that's the thing. Like, I very much enjoy this. Like, I'm not saying I don't enjoy this, but I'm not putting like full stock in this saying, oh, we're going to run the table. We beat Spurs 6-1 today. We're invincible. Like, I do firmly believe this was more of a mistake by Spurs than a Newcastle masterclass. We just saw an opportunity and took advantage of it.
Do you think this, so what is that? Is this game 32 for y'all?
Yes. I believe so. I think so.
What's your confidence in Champions League right now?
Now,
percentage-wise.
Now after today, not because of the scoreline, but purely because of the result, I would put it at 75%. I would be I'm not, nicest way possible, I'm not worried about Spurs. I'm worried about Villa, who looked very pedestrian against Brentford yesterday. So I would put it at 75% probably in my confidence level. I think Liverpool honestly scares me the most. And they almost bottled a game
They
against
looked pedestrian yesterday for much of the game.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did, but they got the job done. I do think their schedule moving forward is very friendly, if I remember right. They have West
Yeah, they
Ham,
play
you guys,
Spurs.
Brentford, Leicester. I think their toughest game is Villa, and Villa looked again very pedestrian against Brentford. So I think Liverpool, as crazy as it is to say, is my number one concern at this point. But I think we're far enough ahead of Liverpool and have a friendly enough schedule that I think we'll be all right. I do feel pretty confident. I'd say
I mean, factor in
75%.
Man United to that with Man United's now struggles at the back. I mean, they've got to play with Harry Maguire every game the rest of the season now. So, I think that I think that you guys end up finishing third, and it's between United, Villa, and Liverpool for that fourth spot. So, yeah, this is one for me to flush. Although I can't really flush it because I know this is kind of going to be what it is the rest of the season. The players have given up. You can tell. I think the formation will change, but I don't see us being any sort of threat at the back, not threat at the back line, but any sort of formidable back line, or really anything but Harry Kane going forward. Sonny might get 2 goals in his next 5 games, but it feels like a very without Betancourt, this team's just been completely different. It was a huge. I mean, he was emerging as one of the better midfielders in the Premier League when he went down, and his name was really getting out there. And he had probably the only good World Cup for Uruguay out of that entire team, and he just had a lot of momentum. And you can't peg 6-1 on one player, especially with it being the problems at the back, but just kind of the way the season's gone, he kind of emerged as the on the field captain for the team, and it was tough to lose him. So I do think that Tottenham will end up playing in the Conference League next year or miss out on Europe entirely, because Brighton has like 3 games in hand on all of us. I feel like they've,
Yeah.
for some reason, I don't even know if they've hit 30 games yet. So,
No, they haven't.
Yeah, they have.
So no, I don't think they have yet. But so where do you
Okay.
where do you see Spurs moving forward? I'm not trying to go into a 25-30 minute episode on Spurs future, but is this it for Kane? Is this it for Son? Like where
Oh yeah,
if you
it's it
are
for Kane.
if you are Conference League next year, like what do you see moving forward for you guys?
I see a complete rebuild. I mean, it's the Twitter heads are talking and saying, "Oh, Tottenham plans to do a complete squad overhaul this summer." I don't know what's going to end up happening. You never really know. They need to, but Daniel Levy's going to need to take a loss on a lot of these players, and I don't see him willing to do that. I think a lot of people who know Tottenham really well expect this to kind of be the same lineup going into next year without, like, minus Harry Kane. I think Dyer will be a starter next year, and I would hope not, obviously. I hope Julian Nagelsmann's Wi-Fi was out today, or maybe he's on a skiing trip or something and he just wasn't watching.
But
It sounds like it'll be Nagelsmann or Arne Slot.
does Nagelsmann save this though?
I think he
or
saves
is the
Tottenham,
team
but not this group. Not this group. I think what attracts Nagelsmann to the job, other than Chelsea, and we've mentioned it, is the fact he doesn't want to go, well, yeah, money, but he also doesn't want to go into another Bayern. He wants to have,
full
his
control?
Leipzig project back, or his Wolfsburg project back. He was at Wolfsburg, right? I'm not just making that up. Or was he at Hamburg? He went from somewhere to Leipzig to Bayern.
I just remember Leipzig.
I think he wants his project again. He wants to be able to build something, and to build something in the Premier League. And I said it with Antonio Conte. I think part of Conte coming to Spurs was, and Mourinho, was to prove that, okay, maybe I'm the best in the world and I can turn this around. But they had different minds. And if you're the one to turn it around and win something at Tottenham, that's a huge boost for a manager's legacy because nobody's been able to do it.
Right.
But I think with Nagelsmann, I think he's willing to tear it down and start again. And people say, you need Champions League to get Nagelsmann. I don't think that's necessarily the case. If we did, I think he would have been intrigued with the Chelsea project. But I don't know. Short term, I mean, I don't even know if Tottenham will get a win in their last 5 games. I could see them drawing a few. Maybe they'll pull one out, but I don't know. It's not going to be good this season, and
It's not that dire.
It's going to be a complete.
It's not that dire though.
Do what? It's pretty.
It's not that dire though. Like, I mean, it's Eric Dyer of Dyers, but I mean,
the schedule is favorable, which is why I see. And we just lost.
You do still get to play Leeds.
Like,
you get to play Leeds though.
Yeah, but with Leeds' pressure on if Pedro Porro is going to be playing defense, I mean,
yeah.
If you press him with a ball at the back, it's a goal. It's a goal. So
it's so funny. Leeds is not.
I would want to play like a Forest type, not a Leeds type. If that makes sense.
I absolutely love Pedro Porro as a fantasy soccer player, but watching him for a full game, because I admittedly, I flip Spurs on when it's convenient, but I don't watch Spurs in depth. And watching a whole game of Pedro Porro was tough today. It was. He has not to the same extent, but there's TAA similarities there where he's very good
going to be a
offensively.
Assist, and there's going to be a highlight clip blunder.
Exactly. He's not quite TAA offensively, and he's not quite as bad as TAA defensively either. He's kind of middling both of those. But yeah, it's tough. It was hard to watch. I still love him on my fantasy team. Highly recommend people pick him up. He's under 5 million. Go get him on your FPL team. But yeah, it was tough from an actual soccer standpoint today.
Yeah. So out of all the Tottenham Hotspur football games I've watched this year, this was certainly the most recent one.
It was
I
that.
just pulled that off Twitter. So that's been this episode of the Planet Soccer Podcast. Dylan, if you don't have anything else, I'm going to clean myself up, take a shower, get a cup of coffee. Then we're going to talk about the Wrexham Red Devils, baby. And congrats to Newcastle.
Yeah,
up the tune.
I'm buzzing. We're going to make Champions League, and I don't know what to do with myself. In the second half of that game, I felt
it's overrated. It's overrated.
Well, yeah, if you're not good. I felt like the Ricky Bobby quote though. I don't know what to do with my hands right now. I'm very excited that we're gonna secure Champions League. And at this point, if we don't, I'm as I tweeted about or texted you, and then you tweeted about this individual game. At this point, if we don't make Champions League, I'm gonna be looking for the nearest bridge. This was for me the litmus test.
There's a lot of them in Newcastle apparently, right?
We have all the bridges, and I'll be there, and I apparently not have a game to go to because the Premier League cares more about money than their fans that are traveling from the US. So rock on. But yeah, I will probably find the nearest bridge while I am there if we do not qualify at this point. And not because of the way we won today, just the fact that we won. And those points are so important at this point. I legitimately don't see a world where we don't qualify at this point. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I feel bad, but I don't.
That's all right. You got to tear it down to build it back up. So,
or just get rich oil owners.
I've said it before.
You don't have to tear anything down.
I said it before. I have the American perspective on rebuild, so I'm prepared for a rebuild. I've seen the Rangers do it. I've seen the Mavericks do it. Cowboys have been trying to do it for 20 years.
Trust me, I live in Detroit. All we do is rebuild. We don't have winning teams. Yeah. We just rebuild. So yeah, I feel
Yeah,
you.
well, the Rangers and the Tigers were winning at the same time. Unfortunately, the best Rangers teams were just a little bit. I think we beat y'all twice in the ALCS. Ended up losing heartbreakers in the World Series. So
I'd rather not talk
our
about
best
it.
years, baseball wise, were at the same time, and
And not
Nelson
quite good
Cruz just
enough.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Make sure y'all keep arguing with each other in the comments. We really enjoy seeing that. Like, subscribe, share, comment, duet, and stitch. And we'll talk to y'all again in about an hour.